Okay. All right. What's up with you, man?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Like I was saying, that right there wouldn't, you know, it's just the background music itself. It's gonna fuck up anyway. So we ain't gonna be able to use that at all. But it is what it is. We'll make the best of it. People will still be able to see us.
Yeah,
Well, at least that's the bright side way of looking at it. So,
y- yeah.
so
Let's see.
is a that's what you was trying to tell me,
What's that?
that I was cut off. On the video.
No, I thought you were still playing with it.
Nah, so I thought that's what you was trying to tell me.
Yeah,
So the
I was
audio
just
sound pretty good.
yeah. We sound good on my end.
Okay. Uh, let's see here. You looking at it on the back end of YouTube.
Yeah, I got it open. I gotta
Okay.
refresh it. Let me refresh. Now see, you already got it live.
hmm
Okay, I got it
Did
open.
Did you check not made for kids?
I hadn't been in there. I just got it. Let me.
Oh, well, that's what they asked me when I went into the back end of it
Mm-hmm.
to see the views and stuff.
Okay, no. Okay, I see it. I'm in there now.
Okay. Did you check not made for kids?
It's already checked.
Okay. This ain't in incognito. Yeah. Now, how accurate is this?
What you mean? How accurate?
Well, I know we was getting some different readings when I was telling you I was looking at it on StreamYard,
Uh huh.
and you said it was steady, and I was like, it was fluctuating on the StreamYard.
You talking about our
The
uh
people who view it.
oh, that I'm not sure how accurate it actually is. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Supreme Court's supposed to get together tomorrow for that Trump situation. You see something about that?
I hadn't seen anything on that about
Yeah.
Trump.
I'm looking at my browser here. Look like I had just saw something about that too. That they supposed to be getting together to the yeah. That was who's that reported by? Oh, it was actually a Twitter post by Brian Cressenstein or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it said likely that the Supreme Court may make a ruling tomorrow related to Trump's eligibility in Colorado to be on the ballot.
Oh, okay. So Colorado
Yeah.
now.
Well,
I'm
Colorado
thinking
was the
about
first
the
one.
yeah. I was thinking about the Illinois one.
Right, yeah. Yeah. Illinois is the one that's most recent.
Hmm.
Yeah. Them guys talk about they ain't gonna do nothing.
Talking
You
about
know,
the boycott, the truck drivers.
yeah, yeah, that ain't gonna work. I was talking to a guy the other day at Walmart, at the neighborhood Walmart. He was telling me, he said, who you drive for? I said, well, I drive for myself on and off here and there. He said, well, look, he said, don't sell your truck and everything. I said, okay, because yeah, because he was like, because it's gonna bounce back. I said, I don't see it. Well, he said, yeah, he said it's gonna bounce back. I said, okay. He told me his name. I forgot what he said his name was. But I said, who you drive for? ABL. I said, yeah, that's why it
Oh.
ain't gonna bounce back. Y'all gonna keep running. Y'all gonna keep running to the big companies. Yeah, they ain't gonna
so,
never bounce back.
so he was the owner operator.
Now he said drive for ABL.
But I'm saying, was he
And well, he was talking like he parked his trucks too. You know, he was
okay?
talking in that context. He never said it, but that's the context he was talking in.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
that's why I wonder because he said don't sell yours, don't get rid of yours.
yeah, right. Because because everybody's still banking on the market bouncing back.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask me, I think it's been back. It's just yeah,
It's
it's
the
been
new
back.
norm.
Well, yeah, it's the new norm that corporate is going to make sure they orchestrating every part of it. I think, you know,
Yeah.
and yeah, and I think right now it's scary for a lot of people, to try to, they're small, trying to grow their businesses bigger, because even if like I
Hmm.
like this guy, even the one I was telling you about on TikTok, he claimed they was a one stop shop. He was talking about he merged his company with a freight forwarder.
Oh yeah, I remember you talking about that.
Right. Well, see, at any time their freight forwarder can decide not to use them, because now
Yep.
one of the companies are going to be dumb enough to put in writing that they have to uphold that contract with you for a certain period of time. We
Hmm.
seeing it. It's always open ended, and then when the pandemic shit hit the fan, then you really had people, even the good old boys, they even came out and was just talking about how they had to let certain stuff go because the rates were low. The folks came back dropping the rates, so they came back and dropped the rates. You never had nothing in solid paperwork saying that this was how it was going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think they sign contracts. I think they give you an opportunity to work with them, but they can bow out of it whenever they get ready, and they
Right.
don't have to be legally liable.
Yeah, because I don't think most of them would um commit themselves to a long term contract. You know.
Nah, they'll be silly if you don't have to do it,
Hmm.
right? It just on the face of it, it wouldn't be good business practice to legally bind yourself in a business relationship unless it's a situation where you and the other party agree to it. Far as truckers, we'll agree to it because y'all the one got to work supposedly,
Hmm.
but they want to be able to weigh their options, that if things don't go right, they can go any route and get these loads moved if something should happen where you can't get it done. And then it seems like the bigger companies are the only ones that the shippers are trusting freight to where those carriers could do what they want. They could broker it out, they could ship it, they sell, they could put it on a train. They give them all that responsibility, but they not gonna do that with a smaller company, because you don't
Hmm.
have the resources to be able to move a high volume of load like that. It's almost like moving work.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a lot of
Yeah.
ways, I promise you it is. It's like somebody bringing about 500 of them things, and they just dropping them in your lap and tell you, "I'll be back with 500 more next week."
Hmm.
So you got a week to move 500 things, and get it
Yeah.
on. Yeah, and you might not even have the clientele.
Yeah.
So now, go
Yeah, and
ahead.
stuff like that. Owner operators or small carriers, small fleet or whatever, they're going to pretty much just if it's something that they feel that's going to be consistent, they're going to commit to it until the next thing comes along.
But oh yeah, you talking about smaller company, talking about that volume of load.
Well, just depending on that volume of load, it's going to be a small company. They pretty much going to try to eat that up the best they can. A smaller company.
Five, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Now, you talking about five? You know what I'm saying? You kind of lost me because I was just using an analogy between somebody dropping off 500 of them things on the street side and saying I'll be back with. Because see, when they say I'll be back with 500 more next week, they're expecting you to have their money for the 500 they just dropped off to you next week. You see
Okay.
what I'm saying? So they, yeah, so that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. So that's why I was saying it's kind of like that with, if you're dealing with a shipper and they tell you, I got 10,000 loads a month going out. Can you handle it?
Hmm.
if you a small company, that's gonna be a tall task
That's gonna be a
unless you
tall
just
task.
got
Yeah.
right, unless you just got friends out here that you could trust, because that's a lot of freight. A lot of things could go wrong if you don't put that in the right people's hands. So you
Yeah.
might have to have you a few friends that own uh their own trucking companies, and each one of them may have 100 trucks or better. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about nobody you went to school with, but just over time, just to build those relationships up to where you can go to them and say, "Hey, I got these 10,000 loads here. You know, I want to work with you on, you know, committed some of your trucks to these loads. It's consistent freight. You know, you got to do the normal salesmanship thing, consistent freight. You
Mm-hmm.
know, can you help on this?" Oh yeah, you know, we could probably dedicate about 50 of them because we already got some accounts and we need to have the other 50 for that. Okay, cool. I'll take them 50. Move on to the next carrier that you've built a relationship with over time. Same thing. He may have 100 available. You know what I mean? Or 150 available. And just
Mm-hmm.
so forth till you build that team up. But if you just somebody that's small and you don't have those relationships, and in today's time where there's so much freight fraud going on, and which create trust issues, you know, to like where you got some people like some of the guys we know, if they've been burnt by a smaller broker before, and they know the difference in who CH Robinson is, who Global Trans is, who Coyote is, and
Mm-hmm.
who Abby and Phillips brokering service is, they probably gonna say, you know what, I'll take my chances with this cheap freight CH Robinson guy than to deal with this headache, possible headache with this Abby and Phillips that I ain't never did business with,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And so, you know, you could find yourself in trouble if you can't build a network with that many loads going out like that. So that's why I say I think shippers, they got more trust for bigger companies to give that kind of volume to.
Yeah. Yeah, because then too, um, they would only have to give it out to just a handful of those larger carriers. Because shucks, if they take somebody like a UPS or somebody like a Swift or whoever, they just gonna take whatever they can take, and the rest they'll broker it out. In a lot of cases, and that shipper will probably be fine with that because that company is gonna provide them with the logistics. They're gonna provide them with tracking and everything, and oftentimes they let them set up a shop right there at their location, depending on how large the account is.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and but see, but that's because they'd have built up a reputation, a reputation over time that they could be trusted like that. I mean, you think about it. Say, for instance, me and you, we get a contract, and they say, "Hey, we got 20,000 loads a week." You know what? Every two, every week we got 10,000 loads going out.
Okay.
Okay, we small. We might say, "Oh, I don't want that." You know what I'm saying? You might say, "Oh man, I don't think we can do that." I might be like, "Well, look." I was able to rub elbows with the CEO over there at Swift. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? I might be like that. Like, let me make a call first. You
Right.
know
We
what I
just turn it
mean?
down. Yeah.
Right. Swift may not be able to move 10,000 loads a week themselves, but they've built up a reputation where I could give it to them and feel safe that I don't care how you get it moved, as long as you get it moved because it's
Right.
going through Swift. You pretty much padding with all kind of insurance or whatever that's trusted. You know what I'm saying? Versus me going down the road and giving it to DC Ingram or Faithful Truck.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Swift got this reputation that even if they do broker it out, I don't care because they got the insurance to cover it, you know, to the point to where, I mean, like, where they gonna go? They ain't gonna go out of business if I have to sue them. You know what I
Yeah, that's
mean?
true.
So right, so you got that trust there. So that's why I think they get it because there's so much can be tied up in it with lawsuits and all that kind of nonsense to the point to where you just don't want to trust it in smaller hands. You want the gigantic hands because I know, like, if somebody came and said, "Hey, 10,000 loads a week," and I had a plug like that over there as well. Hey, long as you taking care of everything, I'm cool with only winning 15, 10% off of something like that. That's easy money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
It
dropping it
is.
in your hand, and all I gotta do is relay the shipper through the EDI system or what have you, and and connect it to Swift's EDI system, and not now the shipper got their update. The only thing we got to make sure is that everything is accounted for. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be cool with that.
Shoot, yeah, that's easy, easy money for what it
Yeah,
say. Like, yeah.
yeah, because you putting it all in their hands. If you get a shipper, well, that's why I say it's like it compares to the streets. Because if I got 500 of them things, and each one of them things going at 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 20 grand, I mean, just easily, it's going like cakes at that rate. But I'm getting them for 7 grand.
Mm,
Okay, I could easily move this for 15 grand
okay.
and outsell the competition. So if a shipper give you that many loads at a high rate where it supersedes what someone like Swift rate will be, you winning anyway.
Yeah.
Because you're getting the freight at a high rate. You might be getting that freight for $5 a mile.
Mm-hmm.
Swift might say, look, we gotta have these at $4 a mile. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's a
Right.
dollar and 50 a mile.
Yeah.
That you winning, that you
Mm-hmm.
ain't doing nothing. And that's why I say it really compares to that to me. I don't know if you
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about by me saying
Yeah.
them things, but.
Yeah. What you talking about with the thing? Because I was trying to compare it to what you talking about right now.
Okay, look at your chat.
Okay. Okay.
See, yeah, see, you ain't supposed to say that on YouTube. That's why I'm
Yeah.
saying them things.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it compares to that because it's work you moving.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
see what I'm
got
saying? Yeah. So
you.
yeah, so that's why I say, like you had to be careful. I saw a lot of guys get buried taking on, work that they really couldn't handle.
Mm-hmm.
And they got buried behind it. They got caught up in some stuff after they they was able to dig themselves out. Kind of, they still had stuff waiting on them.
Mm.
I mean, so yeah, you have to be careful. And that's why it compares to that because you take on too much more than you can handle, you can end up trying to learn to breathe underwater. Uh, uh, afraid of the dog because you crammed up in a tight spot waiting on the door to open. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, you just have to be careful, what you ask for. So like when you talking about like a General Mills or a Home Depot, stuff like that, they looking on you to take on a lot of work.
A lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. To
They
be able
are.
to
Cause
handle that.
yeah. Cause I remember, man, this had to be about 12 years ago, 13 years ago, and I remember calling a international paper because I was learning to broker, and I wanted to know, which I was asking them about if they accepted owner operators. I called a guy and said, "Hey, you guys accept? Do you guys work with owner operators who only have one truck and trailer?" And the
Right.
guy, everybody else really wouldn't give me a time of day, but this guy took out the time. He said, "No." He said, and I'm thinking he just gonna hang up because I said, "Okay, all right, well, I appreciate it," because he sounded like he was real busy in the background. And he said, "No," he's like, "It's because not that I wouldn't want to." He said, "I can't afford to." He said, "I just can't afford it." He said, "We have too much stuff that we moving. I can't afford uh a one truck on operator. I had to give it to
Right.
larger carriers." I said,
Yep.
"Okay." And so that's when I started to understand, how this stuff worked.
Yep.
Because hey, they don't want to work with no. If they have 50 loads leaving today, they don't want to deal with 51 truck owner operators. That's 50 different attitudes, 50 different rates that they're going to give them, 50 different types of piece of equipment. No, they rather talk to one person that can send them 50 trucks and
Yeah,
just be on with it. You
yeah,
know,
because it's
so
less of a headache. Because see, most people are looking for convenience. Like like most of these companies, I meant to say. How do you
hmm
pin this chat? Well, hold on, let me see. How do you pin this? Okay, I got it.
okay, come on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of these companies they looking for convenience,
hmm
and I don't blame them. You want to make your workflow easy because we living in that time where everything's just pop, pop, pop. You know, and it
mm,
and in logistics, you got to be able to perform at a high level to impress, well, at a high level for a cheap rate
yeah.
to be able to rub elbows with a lot of these people. I'm pretty sure, you know I wouldn't doubt it if the money was there to where they could get that money out like that. They probably would, just to save the headache from having to argue with you over what they would consider pennies. But see, right now, what we consider money, it ain't considered pennies to them shareholders and stuff. See, they done did their fiscal year end. They done. I mean,
hmm
I'm pretty sure a lot of those companies' books not looking that great from the pandemic because they had to put out a lot of money to have some stuff move just in that short time.
So, when do they official? Is the official year end and stuff is the same for everybody?
No, I think like some of them fiscal year end is like 12/31.
Okay.
Some of them, just switch it up. I think it's more so depending on in a lot of cases, I could be wrong, but depending on the start date of your business or however you want to reset your books as far as like the time you're gonna start almost like a pay period. I'm gonna look it up to make sure.
Okay. Yeah, because I always wondered that how those different businesses ran that their year ends because I've seen that where some of them was in the beginning, not the beginning, but in the middle of the year.
Right.
So I didn't know if everybody had something different or it was just everybody was the same because I never took out the time to really check that out.
Yeah, I'm looking here. It said the U.S. government's fiscal year end begins October the 1st and ends September the 30th. So it's just basically whatever date that you start, it's going to end the next year one day before the date you start.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Let's see.
Hmm,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
So, yeah, it's a using a different fiscal year end than the calendar year. Less seasonal businesses choose to start and end dates that better align with their revenue and expenses. That's what I thought. This means a fiscal year end can help present a more accurate picture of a company's financial performance.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so when the money ain't right, they change things. So that's why you got now why the rates are so low. But
Which
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I've been say, which that means that after a year, at the end of their official year, and they see something ain't right on the books, then they can probably go to month 2 of what they saw wasn't right, and come to you, whoever come after somebody, say, hey, we hadn't got paid for this, or we overpaid you for that, or
Oh
you
yeah,
owe us
yeah. Oh
this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's what it's all about. Your profit and losses and why.
hmm
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's interesting because I know you telling a story about how some of those uh, companies that you were dealing with, they started coming with it like a whole year later, saying, "Hey, here are our receipts. We're trying to see if you got receipts for X, Y, and Z because we showing that you owe us this amount of money, right?" Because they had came
No, they
back.
were saying that they owe me money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. It was companies that was calling me. It was money I had missed. And when them companies came, they fiscal year end, they was reaching out to me saying they owed me money. Man, I had so many thousands of dollars that I
Wow.
had missed because the business was just going so fast that I thought was already paid out. And they trying to
Mm-hmm.
get their books together to do their taxes. So some of them, like all of them had their own different procedures. Some of them they wanted you to respond and verify that this money was owed, and they would get like frustrated if I didn't reply back in time because they was trying to get their taxes done,
Mm-hmm.
and they was trying to get all that money where it needed to be at, so they wouldn't get taxed on money that they should have been paying out.
Okay. So what about the
Yeah.
time you said that one of those I forgot who the person was, they came to you from one of those container companies talking about
Mm.
what, like missing containers or something like that? They were trying to get with you on.
Zim, is that who you talking about? Zim
I
when
think
they was missing
uh
that container.
was it I no, I think I'm talking about IMC because they were talking about gate tickets and stuff like that. Wasn't it IMC? Because you said they had a big.
Oh no, that was when they was doing all that breaking in them containers, stealing them Nike tennis shoes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they tried to put one of those situations on my company, and I had my gate tickets to
Mm-hmm.
show the time and everything where we had picked up and delivered, and that covered me on that. Yeah, no, yeah, they was coming back a year later about that. That was dealing with theft when all that
Okay.
stuff was on the news and folks were breaking in them folks shit.
With them Nike trailers.
Yeah, yeah,
Man, we've seen so much going on with Nike last year. That was crazy.
yeah, yeah. In the year before, but that has something to do with the fiscal year end too.
You're right.
Yeah, when they go back and they look at all their books and everything, and like at a certain point they'll get to where they just start exit off a lot of stuff or whatever they got to do tax purpose wise to get the books right. But yeah, I'm pretty sure IMC shit was jacked up. It's probably it shit. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if anybody who was on with them keep hearing from them back and forth for the next 5 or 6 years.
Mm,
Yeah, that pandemic it really messed them up because I don't think they never really wanted to expose them lows out like they did.
I'm pretty sure they didn't, because
Right.
a lot of it was just real unorganized in a way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It hit so fast that they just like really was fucking up, man, with the way they had opened up them doors. I mean, with no security, and like I always told you, I always felt like the way I always viewed intermodal, it was like high security type freight you was pulling. You had to go through the rail to get it. You had to, try to figure out how to get on with them. And the only way that we knew how to get on with them was leasing onto a company already on with them.
Mm-hmm.
It was like that information there. You had to know certain keywords to find out how to do that stuff. It just so happened the pandemic just opened up the doors to it. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm looking for them in the next couple of years. They probably gonna make it very difficult to get into intermodal as like a one or two truck operation.
Mm-hmm. Well, shoot, I think they had already started that out there in California with that. When they
Yeah,
began to, I guess it was about 10 years ago when they started shutting down guys who had older trucks. Because at
yeah,
first they had a grandfather. You were grandfathered in, and after a while they turned that around and started telling everybody, okay, you got to start upgrading your trucks. Then they came out with the what was it? No, being misclassified as an independent contractor. So they made it to where if you going to run containers, you pretty much had to do it with a carrier. So I know they've been making a lot of changes down there, well, over there in California, and lot of it around the LA area in those ports, Long Beach and what's the other one? Long Beach and Port of, I think it's Port of Los Angeles.
uh huh,
Yeah.
yeah, Yeah, and well, it's not like that in Baltimore. I think Baltimore is just trying to get they stuff over there state of the art. That's why Biden sent all that money over there to them. Remember I
Oh,
was telling you about that?
yeah, because they
Yeah,
upgrading.
yeah, they upgrade. You know, he sent it out to a bunch of different ports. I think along that East Coast line area, he funded
Hmm.
so many billions of dollars.
Hmm.
You know, the excuse probably was so that they could have everything secured. You know, this freight. I think this freight fraud brought forth big money opportunities for those like ports to get like additional grant money to say that they spending it on security
Right.
and all that kind of stuff because he had gave out a lot of money. I'm gonna see if I can
Okay.
find it as we talking.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure those ports alone there would be in like you said, Baltimore. I'm sure Newark, New Jersey would have got it because they're the largest in the country, the largest port in the
Are
country.
they?
Hmm. It's Newark, New Jersey, and then Long Beach,
Uh-huh.
the second largest. Excuse me. Yep. I think I think Boston has a port also
Oh wow.
along there. Yeah.
Check this
What they
out.
say?
I didn't even know this. This it came from Yahoo Finance. This headline: Biden admin pledges $20 billion to upgrade U.S. port cybersecurity. Now you know what I was talking about was something totally different. This
Hmm.
right here. I'm looking for that too because see that because the other one was supposed to been for infrastructure and that was
Right.
like in I want to say it was earlier this year. Let me see if I can find it. Biden announced $6 billion in climate. No, that's climate change funding.
Okay.
Port of Los Angeles wants share of infrastructure fund. That was March of last year. So yeah, it was an infrastructure fund that he had introduced. And now here it is, 1 week ago, Yahoo Finance reports that he pledges $20 billion to upgrade U.S. port cybersecurity. So he must be pledging that to the House.
Mm.
Is
Well,
is that how that works? Like he
that I'm
proposing a
unsure.
policy?
Yeah, he's probably if they saying that he's pledging it, then I guess that's what that means. That he's proposing that Congress make some pass that to
Yeah, they
just
said that
go
they
and release
would.
that money.
Yeah, they talking about $20 billion over the next 5 years to upgrade cybersecurity measures at U.S. ports.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, I guess that comes on the wake of because we were talking about they came out with an article during the same time that the cyber attack came out last. Was that last week? Last Monday or so? That cyber attack hit Monday, Tuesday.
I thought it was like in the middle of the week. Was it? It
I,
might have been. I can't remember the exact day.
but
I
I
know it was
remember,
a mess.
yeah, I remember reading that article, and they was talking about Biden was going to uh, beef up cybersecurity at the ports, the nation's ports. They didn't have. I don't recall seeing anything in that article about the amount of money. So I guess this is because that article you just read about how much he's wanting to give out. That was came out when this week.
Now I just got on here 1 week ago.
Okay, so I guess
Yeah,
it's
it's
around
posted
about
by
the same.
Yahoo Finance.
Okay, so I guess that was probably after that cyber attack. They went on ahead and trying to release some money. I guess.
I say I don't know, man. These folks they the one got all the power. I don't know who triggered that cyber attack. All I know is it cost some money to start flowing around here. That's all I know. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I say, hey, as I tell anybody, I'm from the streets. I know game. I don't, I can only believe what I see. You
yeah,
know what I mean? And I just see that they said we had a cybersecurity. I don't know how AT&T security runs. All I know is they able to go into my account and get my money for what I owe them for they services, but I ain't able to have access to their stuff to see what kind of security they really got going on.
yeah,
That's all I know. So
yeah.
all I know is there's some money flying around here in they hands. So they said it was a cybersecurity. I don't know. AT&T could have just cut our phones off.
Yeah. Hey, they probably got some. You think they got some of that money too?
Who? AT&T.
AT&T.
It's possible. I mean, it's just see, I I know you was raised to be a good guy. And you probably didn't encounter, what I'm saying? I'm serious. You probably didn't encounter a lot of this game that goes on right in your face. So
Hmm.
to you, it's just like, well, the news said this, you know. Like I said, if we didn't learn nothing from Donald Trump, we do know that politicians, when Donald Trump was in office, we know politicians utilize policies. Just by him, we can't act like he the only one. They
Hmm.
utilize policies to line their pockets.
Right. Yeah, and we've seen that time and time again.
Right.
And
Right.
and we
It
just
huh.
and we know just anyway from a lot of politicians, most politicians when they take office or just they've been in office for a certain amount of time, they're not really rich or wealthy, but when they leave, they are.
Very.
Uh huh.
Yeah. So, because it's funny to me, like when the Trump administration was in office, everything that they did was wrong, was critiqued all the way down to the bone. It's almost like you knew every move, just like the situation with Saudi and Arabia. They had Trump under investigation that he sold weapons to them, you know, and he did it, without the approval of Congress.
Okay.
But didn't Ronald Reagan do the same thing? Didn't another president do the same thing?
Um, I know they talked about Reagan, and his Reaganomics. I forgot. I know he pretty much stopped a war from what I've heard. I can't remember. I had to go back and look at that, but I remember it was something similar when he was running for office and he was getting ready to enter office. They said he made a statement that pretty much stopped a lot of things from happening.
That was that the Cuban Missile Crisis?
That could have been that.
Okay,
I don't know if he dealt with the Cuban Missile Crisis. Now I can't recall when it comes to Reagan.
okay, cause I thought it was a president in office one time that they had under investigation for selling weapons, selling United States weapons to another country.
Hmm. Yeah, was that Watergate? What was Watergate? Shucks, I can't
That was
remember.
Nixon.
Yeah, yeah, I
That
know
was
that was Nixon.
that was something dealing with some information, but they impeached him though.
Uh huh.
Yeah,
Right.
whatever Nixon did, they got him up out of there.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Gave him a ride and everything. Let's see.
Yeah, cause I'm familiar. I'm trying to think what president that could have been that was selling weapons to other countries. Yeah, cause that was. Mm, let's see. Yeah, you remember what country? Some of the countries that
Yeah, it says after the weapon sales were revealed in November 1986, Reagan appeared on national television and stated that the weapons transfer had indeed occurred, but that the U.S. did not trade arms for hostage. So that was he was being accused of giving weapons for exchange of hostages, I guess.
Oh, okay. Was it somewhere in the Middle East?
I didn't open up. I was just reading the excerpt on it.
Okay.
Well, it was Iran.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh huh.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But what I was saying was, when Trump was in office, the media, gave you such detailed understanding, or maybe it was just my first time listening, but it seemed like they gave detailed understanding because whoever that prince is over there in Saudi Arabia, uh, they was like investigating Trump supposedly selling weapons to him because um, what was his son-in-law name? Ivanka husband, Jared Kushner.
I never knew his name. Say,
Well,
say,
he made a he made a trip over there, and like in the middle of the night, they had found out he had made a trip over there. When he left, they found out that Prince killed like 11 of his cousins. One of them, you know what I'm saying? Like he had 10 of them gunned down. One of them died in a helicopter crash. They blew the chopper out
golly.
the sky. Yeah, and so they said Jared. So they was trying to find out if Jared was sent over there by Trump, and they was giving that man secrets about who were American spies in exchange for money.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I,
So,
I vaguely remember something about that. That's something I didn't really uh
yeah.
just paid attention to. Yeah.
Like I said, the worst position a person could have been in is that they couldn't stand Trump to the point where they just stopped watching the news because he was on there. Because a lot of information being told about, to me, what's been going on in politics anyway. They were
Hmm.
just exposing Trump because he wasn't part of the alumni, so to speak.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So they wanted to get him up out of there. He was too wild for them.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't what they call him. He wasn't presidential. I think that's the
Right. He
term they
wasn't
use a lot.
presidential. He
Right.
wasn't presidential. That's exactly what it was. So, so that's why I mean, but I learned a lot. So, because Trump said, he said, the stuff they accused me of, I'm not the first to do it. So he said,
Yeah.
he will always be like, so I don't you know, basically like they're exposing themselves who they are, what they trying to do to me because of who I am, and they don't like me when they don't let
Right.
other presidents get away with stuff like this. And hey, I just figured that okay, if this been done before in history and nothing was done about it, it must be okay. That's how he will flip it on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because hey, didn't he say he's gonna was it expose the swamp, or I forgot
Drain the
how to
swamp.
drain the swamp. Yeah.
Yeah. Drain the swamp. Yeah, your volume had did something crazy, but you came back.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, he said he was gonna drain the swamp, but but back to old girl that went off the bridge. She was a black girl. She was a sister.
Okay.
I
Yeah, I
saw a
thought she
video
was.
where they had it close up on her. Yeah,
Okay.
when they was dangling in the air, and the dude that saved her, I think his name was Bryce Caden.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the one that said, yeah, she was calm and she she was calm and collective and helped me do everything I needed to do to get her to safety. Yeah. She
Hmm.
yeah, but like I say, it's not funny what happened because some people got hurt. They had to send some people to the hospital to they had serious injuries.
Wasn't it
I was
like
listening before we came on.
was like three other cars involved?
I think
Two or
like three or
three.
four cars, but they
Yeah.
didn't like reiterate on the amount of vehicles that was involved in it. They would just basically just show the news clipping. They did this particular clip here just wanted to highlight the heroic efforts of that Bryce guy,
Right.
and then in the end they were saying that two other people had been sent to the hospitals with serious injuries.
Okay.
Yeah. See, man, I
Yeah,
don't
that's
like being
something.
on bridges, man. Because folk, man, people just drive so stupid, man. I mean, they don't think, man. Like when I cross a bridge, first thing go through my mind is we real high. We real high in the air. You know what I'm saying? Everybody need to pay attention, everything that's going on. And I think some of these people that get on them, just get on the highway and they just, they just go.
Yeah, and then I try to, as best as I can, you know, imagine I'm driving next to my daughter,
Man.
and as best as I tried to train her, I know she doing stuff she ain't got no business doing when I'm not around.
Right.
Probably texting and driving because that's what a lot of people are doing.
Yep.
Ain't no telling what all she's doing. I just pray for her protection and just hope she's doing, at least 99.9% of the things I taught
Right.
her.
Right. And then like have you seen some of them crazy bridges over there in China?
I seen some. They had some that goes across water, like a long. Is that in China where they
Like
got
like
some that
about
go?
120 something mile long.
Yeah, man. And it's just nothing
Man,
around.
listen, ain't no fucking way. I just, man, I don't know, man. Like I say, man, when I hit my 40s, I just like all my nerves are still just went
It
out the
went out of the
window,
way.
just gone. I just, yeah, I mean, because it's too much bad stuff happened. But I will say this here.
Yeah.
I would probably have more faith in crossing the bridge in China than I would in the US.
Okay. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
that's one thing about them places over there, China, Japan. They always into technology and trying their. I know they've been really building up their infrastructure. When you look at a lot of their stuff, they technology and stuff. Even what's that place? Dubai.
Hmm.
All that futuristic stuff they trying to get into with their infrastructure also.
Right.
So I'm sure it'd probably be, neat driving on their roads, on at least on the main roads.
What, talking about going across some bridges or just a regular road?
Both, because Dubai. Well, just speaking on Dubai, they talked about doing like a futuristic type city to where you're getting on, like on the sidewalk. The sidewalk is almost like the Jetsons. The sidewalk just moves like a what you
Like a
call it?
treadmill.
Yeah, they call it something like a
Really?
uh
Uh
at the
the
airports be having them.
escalator.
Yeah, they like an Escalade, but the airports got them to where they're in the center of the airport to where they're moving, and you can just walk along that, as opposed to just
Hmm.
walking. Yeah, and I forgot what they call them in the airports and everything. But Dubai is talking about doing that, having the
Hmm.
sidewalks a moving sidewalk.
Talking about through the city.
It might be in the more congested areas, the downtown areas, maybe, but
Oh
I just
yeah.
remember hearing about that.
That's amazing.
Hmm.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
ain't think about that, but man, it's gonna be some damn, boy, they just trying to make people lazier and lazier, huh?
that
I
would
guess
make
they
for
know
less.
the secret. Yeah, I guess they know the secret to life is keeping your blood flowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just think about just growing up watching that cartoon, never thought that they'd actually be trying to do that stuff. Just, as a kid, you just thought it was just a cartoon.
Hmm.
And then to
Yeah.
grow up, you see that them folks were like really real.
Trying to imitate that stuff, or even the stuff from Back to the Future. Because
Right.
they really believe that by the year, I think it's about the year 2012, you know, we would have flying cars. Because I think that movie came out like in '84, and so when they
Right.
went to Back to the Future, where they had those cars flying, I think they was portraying 2012, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was something like that. Do you think the government has a hand in the way Hollywood show those movies to its audience just to see what kind of popularity that the movie's gonna gain. Like they may already have these ideas that, hey, we want to have cars flying by 2020 or whatever, but we don't know how the population would accept it. So maybe we should like put it in cartoons and movies to see if this stuff is gaining any kind of popularity.
Shoot, that's
It-
a yeah, that's a possibility. I
right,
could see
like
that.
that's a way of getting our approval.
Hmm.
Because if we like it and start buying the toys and all that, okay, they must really like this and want it to be like that because they don't think that we will understand. They just come straight out and say, "Hey, we want to make cars flying." Because we're gonna have a lot of questions.
Hmm.
Well, is all the buildings gonna be in the air too?
Yeah,
Motherfuckers
that's
gonna
that's
have
gonna be the
questions.
thing, because they had a whole highway system in in
Yeah,
in the sky.
so did. Sure
Yep.
did. Stop signs and everything, you know. So yeah, I was just thinking that, like, I wonder, do they have a hand in it? Because after watching that movie Vice, you gotta assume there's a possibility. I don't know how many times you went and watched it. I think I watched it twice when I first saw it.
I don't think I've seen Vice. I don't see, I haven't seen that movie Vice. You say what? Your mic muted. Well, hold on. Something going.
I got it. I got it. I got it. Let me get
Okay.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I can still hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, because see, because when I was on clicking it, you was clicking it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I was just saying. Okay. You said you ain't ever seen Vice.
No, I've never seen Vice.
Okay. I just be kind of laughing, because you so young
Mm-hmm.
for your mind to be that bad
Yeah, I've never seen
when
Vice.
you ain't never seen that movie about Dick Cheney.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
You know what I'm saying? So
forgot
you
that's
know what I'm
what
saying?
it was.
That's why I was looking
Yeah,
at you. I'm like, yeah, all right,
yeah, I
okay.
forgot that's what
You
that movie
know,
was called.
I just try to accept you. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
Yeah.
I just just have to, just hey, you might need hope I'm still around when you make it to 80.
Hey, I've been, hey, I've been doing that, been forgetful since I was young.
I
Been
know it's gonna
trying.
deteriorate even worse though when you get older.
Uh, hey, well,
It's gonna be the worst.
I have a notepad with me everywhere I go.
Yeah. Shoot, what if you get arthritis?
You say what?
What if you get a bad case of arthritis?
Well,
Some
hopefully,
people get arthritis so bad they damn fingers start, you
that's all right.
know.
Hopefully, they have some type of technology, and I be say, Siri,
Oh
what's my
yeah, yeah.
name? What's my
Well,
name?
hey, that's already here. There, yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Shit,
had
you can
some around my
program
neck.
Apple to do that now.
Right. So
Shit, hell
I have some
yeah.
help.
I
Right.
don't know
Right.
why. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I said that because I promise these phones here, it's crazy. I'm looking at the way because I'm looking at it. It's just amazing how these phones are. I mean, they can do everything you was just talking about. You can tell it,
Mm-hmm.
hey Siri, keep a record of who I am in case I forget. It'll say
Yeah.
okay, and you ask it, Siri, who am I? You so and so and so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So yeah, you're right. You ain't gonna have to write nothing.
I ain't gonna let that stop me from getting out.
Mm, nah, yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah. But
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead. You said what now?
No, I was gonna say, but yeah, that I forgot that was the name of the movie, Vice, with
Hmm.
Dick Cheney and everything.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that man, he made a lot of, if there's any truth to that movie, which I believe is 95% true.
Hmm.
He made a lot of power moves.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of.
yeah, he defined the position of being a vice president because he basically took on the role of being president without being the president.
I want to. I don't think a lot of people have seen that movie either, because you remember it was like a myth that George W. Bush was an alcoholic, and yeah, go ahead.
I remember hearing. I know they used to always talk about his daughters being alcoholics. I couldn't. I vaguely remember them talking about him being an
Hmm.
alcoholic or a party goer, but they talked about his daughters being alcoholics and partiers.
Right, right. He in that movie, I can't remember in Vice. Like, did they portray him as being like an alcoholic in Vice? I know they did in George W. Dot. That movie had W. Dot.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
they had them on him, but
Oh, you ain't
uh,
know they had a movie on George W. Bush called W. Dot.
mm-mm, no, yeah, but
Yeah, they had a movie.
I know in Vice, I think they showed him when he was a little younger before he became. I think when he was governor or something, they showed him at some parties or something. And when he was
Uh,
younger, yeah, they showed him as kind of like a party goer. And when he was governor, I believe, because
uh,
when he governor of Texas, right before he became
uh,
president.
Was it Texas or Florida? Yeah, it was Texas because they
Cause his
own like some
brother,
oil mills down there.
yeah, cause his
Jed,
brother's in yeah in Florida, and then
yeah, Jed Bush.
they got different freeway systems and stuff named after 'em.
Right. Let me
Yeah,
see here.
so
I'm looking for the movie. He got a movie called W. Dot. Let me see.
I didn't even know I don't think I recall seeing that he had one on him.
Yeah, W. Dot.
It came out at the theaters or like on Amazon or something.
No, I don't remember it being on Amazon. So 'cause back then I wasn't even in the homes at W. Dot.
Yeah, that'd be a funny
Okay,
movie.
here it is. It's 2 hours and 9 minutes. It came out 2008, the year Obama was elected. What right?
Yeah, that's the year he was elected.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. They came out with that movie.
Hmm.
Josh Brolin, huh?
I was gonna ask who directed it. Did it say?
Well, Josh Brolin was the star. Let me see here. Where would it say who directed it?
Oh well, I guess you just it's something you have to pull up. I guess because
Let's
I
see.
was trying to see if it was what's his name, Michael Moore or something directed it.
I know he did Fahrenheit 911 and another one. He
I see
did
that one.
documentaries though, right?
Yeah, I know he mainly did documentary. So this wasn't like a documentary; it was just like an
No, this
actual
one here was
movie.
a full blown movie.
Oh, okay.
Josh Brolin played George W. Bush. Elizabeth Bank played Laura Bush. I don't know who Carl Rove is, and Jeffrey Wright played Colin Powell,
Yeah, Carl
and
Rover. He was I forgot what he was, wasn't it? I remember that name.
Carl. Oh yeah,
Let's see, Carl Rove, because he was the guy. Let me see, one of is a former White House deputy chief of staff.
okay.
Yeah, political
Hmm.
consultant. So,
Yeah, so Toby Jones played him. He like third on the list of the cast. I used to judge by that from the star on down. I just judge it by that. I guess who's supposed to be the most important character
mhm.
in it. Uh, let's see. I
Hmm.
can't pronounce this girl name, but her last name Newton. She played Condoleezza Rice.
Oh, okay, that's why I was finna ask who played her.
Jason Ritter played Jeb Bush.
I heard that name before.
Jeb Bush is the brother. Oh, you talking
No,
about
it's about
Jason
the
Ritter?
actor. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That movie came out 2008. Man, you got to go back and check that out, man.
Mm, okay. Yeah, I know I seen Fahrenheit 9/11. That was
Uh
very
huh.
interesting. Yeah, but a lot of people talked about that one and said he was lying when he
Who's
came out
talking
with the
about
Fahrenheit
what?
9/11. Michael Moore.
To, yeah, Michael Moore. Who was called Sicko? Was
Sitcom?
that Michael Moore? What? That's probably some. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I ain't gonna. Now look, they got it on Amazon Prime. It says premium subscription. I don't know what that means, but they got W Dot on there.
Oh,
It might
okay.
be something you got to pay for.
More than
They got
likely.
on, yeah, they got on Voodoo, YouTube TV. Why they got these old movies on channels that they supposed to be showing these movies for free?
They could just put that on Roku or
Yeah,
Tubi or something.
right, right. You got to have a premium YouTube subscription to watch an old ass movie like that.
Mm,
That's an old movie. That movie should be on Netflix or something, at least.
yeah, it should. But
Man, them folks getting old.
yeah,
Yeah, them folks getting old.
because it would have been on. I would think that it would have been on something like Netflix, but Netflix don't keep nothing on there no long time. They gonna recycle it out after a while,
Yeah,
based on
shit. At about 2 months or so, right?
based on the viewership. Yeah, based on the viewership. And so if it ain't got no views, it's just taking up space.
Right.
Yep, it's just taking up space.
Yeah. Let's see.
Uh, I was gonna ask you what you think about. I don't know if you heard about it. Came on the news. Let's see. I think it was a couple of days ago. The new mayor of Memphis, he sat down with gang leaders to ask for a ceasefire, a 1 week
Hmm.
ceasefire. You heard about that?
Nah, nah, I ain't hear about it.
Yeah, he's basically just asking them to just stop all the gang activity, stop all the shooting and murders, because Memphis is now um,
Number one.
number one, and
That's
so
that's a damn shame.
yeah, so they're asking, that's what he was basically pleading with them, sitting down with those leaders to just ask them to do a ceasefire for about a week. So,
What was you asking me?
like, what was your thoughts on that? Like, how do you think that would pan out? Do you think that was taking like a weak approach, um, asking them to just stop for a week and thinking that might cause them to just, okay, well, we might do it for a week, but we're gonna go ahead and go back to doing, back to our criminal activity? Or do you think that, that was something that's gonna really make an impact? The start of something.
I mean, it's got the potential to make an impact, but what civilians got to understand about what I've been hearing going on in the street. It's really no structure. Nobody really has a leader.
Hmm.
It's really no structure out there. It's like the wild, wild west,
Yeah.
from what I've been hearing. And that's like what now what the mayor doing now. That worked back in the day when you had the Crips and Bloods, Vice Lords, and GD. You still got them around, but see, they done came up with all these different new gangs and stuff that these a lot of these younger groups and came up with because they didn't like the structure of the old way. They might
Mm-hmm.
have had a beef with somebody over a girl or some stuff like that or some money or whatever, and who else was been in leadership didn't punish somebody the way they felt like they should have been punished. They said, you know what, I just started my own, what I'm saying, thing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not leadership amongst gangs like it used to be. Like they have like these like now they got rap groups pretty much being gang leaders, but I don't think they have a lot of control. I mean, look at what happened to Yo Gotti brother.
Yeah.
You would think Yo Gotti would have like some kind of pool in his hometown where somebody like his brother wouldn't be touched because they would probably think it would be hell to pay.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody like Yo Gotti, who money as long as his, if you can't, have your brother protected no matter what the circumstances are. I mean, nobody's scared of nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody had that level of respect for nobody. So it's just like the OK Corral.
Yeah.
You know, some of these gang leaders, they walk up in them meetings trying to tell it's 10 of y'all who think we should chill out, but it's 100 of y'all say fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
Who vote you think gonna win? you know. So it's just it ain't like it used to be. Like when you see them old movies, they bringing the gang leaders in and having a conversation, and the gang leaders go to his people and they respect that word. Right now, I had a couple of guys was telling me, they said, guys who affiliated with Gangster Disciple. And they was
Okay.
telling me, they said, man, like you know who Larry Hoover is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. They said if Larry Hoover was to get out now, he would be better off not trying to even get back involved in this, because where he's at now, he's not going to be aligned with what's going on right now. He said these youngsters may hurt him because they don't have that level of respect. They know the myth of him,
Mm-hmm.
but they see the old man in him. They might lose their respect based off what they see in front of them now versus the pictures they see in him when he was young, what they heard about Larry Hoover and all this. So they was like, he don't even have the power to send a word from prison and say, hey. let's stop this. He don't have that
Yeah,
kind of power now. Everybody running wild.
yeah, yeah. Because was that him or was that Tukey Johnson? That
Tookie Williams was a crip.
Tukey Williams, yeah, Tukey
Yeah,
Williams, because I think was from I
Compton.
think yeah, I know that. I was fixing to say he was. I think he did something from prison, talking to the young people,
Well, he
and
wrote children's books too. He was famous
mhm,
for that.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And I think he was the one when I seen his um, biography and everything. They was talking about him, and I think he was trying to do the same thing. Was televised. Was trying to stop a ceasefire with the young folks and tell them to stop the violence and stop the crime and everything.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, L.A. probably got way more structure as far as structures and gangs than Memphis do. But even they starting to lose their grip out there.
Okay.
Yeah, the ones who are OGs, that's just what they are, OGs. But you got rolling 60 Crips out there supposedly killing up. I mean, going in on other rolling 60 Crips too.
Hmm.
Because it may be like a block thing. You may be a part, like out there, you may be a part of the same gang as far as the big umbrella, but y'all blocks are at war.
Yeah.
So you might be part of the Roller 60s, but you might be called Grape Street Crips. You know what I'm saying? You might be Bryce Cove Crips. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But y'all at war with each other. I mean, I know that probably sound confusing, but
Yeah, I seen one guy, I can't think of his name, but he would always say 5-5 or something like that. I can't think I can't
I
think
know
of
what
his
you're
name.
talking about.
Yeah, because
Something mad.
yeah, because he's been on a lot of different people's pot. They've been interviewed a lot of different times, and I remember him talking about different streets and the next block over, this one is that, you know what I'm saying, and this
Yeah,
next street over, and he was explaining a lot of that stuff because somebody was
right.
asking him that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm talking about like over there, man. I'm talking about like it'll be like one street over, and you can't go on that street over there. It'll like be a gun war over there. And
Mm,
same way they come over the street and they be a part of the same gang. It just something may have happened over time where 15 years ago, the two gang leaders, one of them might have been digging the other one lady or something. And the
mm,
war just started from now. Half them guys they don't even know why they at war. They just know it's supposed to be.
yeah.
And the ones who started it probably locked up, dead or sick somewhere. And
Yeah.
it's probably lost on them that they the reason why it started. But
Yeah, and they're just keeping it going.
they're just keeping it going, man. So yeah, it's I don't know. Like I say, I hope that works for Memphis. See, for one, Memphis need better structure in their police department. That's number one. You got a lot. Memphis got a lot of crooked cops now. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I mean, cause when they took that police department pension, man, they was already corrupt anyway. But when they took their pension, it really got bad off because they started having to bring in a lot of these young people in
Mm,
who really wasn't like police ready like that. They was like still affiliated with the streets and they was, on the job, using that power to help the streets. So, it's
mm,
probably people who done got gunned down and killed possibly
mm,
because of information that the police may have gave them because they know the information because they're on the inside now.
mm. Yeah.
Because folks, I mean, when you in that kind of business, number one, I do count in a lot of sense agree with police is not working in a town unless they something like a bailiff,
Mm-hmm.
uh, a dare officer that works at the school. I think those kind of officers need to be from that town. You know what I mean? Like home, you know what I'm saying? Like grassroots, because you know the family of the children. You're a bailiff, you know the people, or whatever, they come in and out of court. You can accommodate them properly, even if they are on trial. You
Yeah.
know, uh, uh, just a regular on the beat officer in the city. But when you start talking about like detectives and stuff like that, I don't think they need to be from here. I think once you promoted to a detective, you need to be sent to another town, because you're gonna be dealing in like high security information that don't
Yeah.
supposed to get out. And you don't need it in an area where you know people, where you might be pillow talking about a case and something get out about something that somebody is giving information they shouldn't. This thing, they end up dead or something because it done got back to the wrong people that these folks is going to cooperate on the case.
Yeah.
So nah, I don't think you need to be from that town if you
Mm.
that kind of that side of police work.
Yeah. That makes sense. I knew a guy that was he was a dang. Um, it was on the tip of my tongue. What you call the guy? Uh, um, like when you get out of parole officer. You know,
Hmm.
he was a parole officer, and he said the town that I used to live in, he ended up moving away. Him and his family moved his family probably about an hour away, 45 minutes, an hour away, because staying in town, he said he was starting to get, kind of like some threats and stuff,
Hmm.
or get hostility. So he moved his family an hour away just so they could be safe.
So he was wait a minute. So he was from that town, and he was a
Hmm.
parole officer for guys coming back to that town.
Well, he said what he was doing. I don't know all the details. I just know that he lived in the same area for and uh, just when he would have the guys that he would talk to and deal with, I just remember him just speaking in church one time and just talking about how he started to notice that things started to kind of get out of hand. And he said, okay, he decided, okay, he was going to go ahead and move his family away just so they'd be
Hmm.
safe. So I don't know all the details, but I know he was a parole officer there in town.
Yeah. See, I don't even think that you should be a parole officer in the town that you're from, because especially if you live in there, because what if you have to send somebody back? You got mothers out here that love their children now. You
Hmm.
know, fathers out here that love their children, think their children don't do no wrong, or if they do wrong, they don't deserve any kind of punishment now. You
Hmm.
know, so I don't think that's safe either, to be a
Yeah.
parole officer in the town, with people knowing where you go to church at, where you live at, especially
Hmm.
in a small town, where it's only, what I'm saying, not that big enough to where somebody just can't pull up on you, just see you out and say, oh, that's so and so. I've been looking for that, so and so and so.
Hmm.
Nah,
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't do that. And then your kids going to school. But see, some guys get put in a box, man. They be chasing, the promotions to make more money, and they probably don't be thinking like that. But nah, that's like being a narcotic officer in a town where drug crime is high, drug activity is high, and you're a narco, and you
Hmm.
live in that town,
Yeah.
and your job is go around here and run surveillance on people to lock them up, and then eventually kick in they door possibly, and all that kind of stuff, or pulling up on somebody undercover. You rather have a cop, if you got to go to jail, you would rather have a cop pull up in a traditional police car, easy, jump out, hey, how you doing, sir, whatever, look, you got a warrant for your arrest, I gotta take you, you would rather have it like that than somebody in regular plain clothes with a police vest on, or in a regular car, jump out, kicking in your windows. I mean, kicking in your door, slamming you on the ground. See, that's like a shock to your psyche.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like a pride, like a surprise attack. So yeah, it's already personal anyway for the person that they trying to lock up, and then you stay in town.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, you don't
Yeah.
want to do that. You're a nago. You want to be kind of like a ghost. You,
Hmm.
yeah, you really all not want to show your face because you don't know when you might have to go undercover.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. That's something I wouldn't want to do. Like you said, in the exact same town, especially if I have a family. You know.
Right. Yeah, and because like some of these guys, like right now, uh, if you got money, you got, what I'm saying. I mean, you got the power. So like
Hmm.
with that Memphis mayor, I hope he was talking to the people with the money, and not just the people with the status, because that ain't gonna move nothing. But when you got that kind of money, even though, unless you're gonna absolutely, when you go out to a drug deal, unless you're gonna absolutely delete his finances, even though he's behind the walls, you and your family still could be in harm's way,
Mm.
especially your children. Remember I told you about the hold on a second here. Uh
Yeah, yeah, that'd be tough, man. Having to deal with that. You going after your certain, whatever career you in, you have to worry about the safety of your family.
mm-hmm. Let's see. So
Mm-mm. Yeah,
let's
cause
see. I'm trying to Paris home saying, me, blah, blah. I saw late huge from Okay, this was back in 14 when I was telling you about the Huey's. The
okay,
restaurant Huey's,
yeah,
the
uh,
burger place.
yeah. Hmm.
Okay, you remember when they took his pension, right?
I vaguely remember that.
Let me see. What this here was dealing with a Robinson stories related by the two young men involved sounds horrific. Two robbers confronted the pair after they left a downtown nightclub in the wee hours of July 5th. A suspect chased one of the men several blocks, then beat him so badly that the man spent 2 weeks in the hospital.
Mm.
Their outraged mothers sent letters to the mayor, district attorney, and the police director demanding that they take action to not only find these criminals but prevent anyone else's sons from being targeted. A TV report called the crimes vicious while touting the gruesome photos of the injuries. The usual $1,000 Crime Stopper reward was boosted to $15,000 by donations from family and friends, but unusual details in the police report, which was filed 6 days after the incident, raised several questions about what happened that night. Now, Memphis police are not only investigating the incident, but are also looking into the story told by the two young men. Let's see here. This was in 2014. I was looking for that story when that boy was jumped on, the owner of Huey's. Huey's in Midtown closed after an assault. Oh, Huey's in Midtown is closed. Okay.
Hmm.
But when they took their police pension, uh, the owner of Huey's was on the Chamber of Commerce, which was one of the
Hmm.
ones who voted to take the police pension.
Mm.
Right. And something ended up happening to their son. But see, even though that right there was suspected that the police union had something to do with that, the point that I'm making is that when people got power like that, whether it be money or that, they don't have to touch you to touch you.
Yeah,
They don't have to they don't have to get out of bed.
yeah, that's true.
Don't have to lose a wink of sleep. They can touch you. So yeah, no, I wouldn't be no officer. In no, you know what I'm saying. Not, you know what I'm saying. Not unless I was just your friendly neighborhood officer.
Yeah.
You
I,
know what I mean? Yeah, not unless I was just him. But if I got to be the officer that's gonna show up and do, you know what I'm saying? I got to, you know what I'm saying? I'm a homicide detective. So now I got to run an investigation on who killed who. Number one, I don't want to see nobody that I possibly know or nobody's children that I possibly know laid out like that. So I'd rather be in a different town dealing with people I don't know if I got to have a job like that,
yeah.
you know, so that I can focus on the job and not let it get personal.
Hmm. Yeah, and I knew I had a couple friends who were officers. They would work in the neighboring town,
Right.
as officers. Yep.
Yeah. I don't even want to be in the neighboring town. I need to be a few towns over
Yeah.
because, I mean, you think about it, if you're a narcotic officer, you would rather deal with somebody that you don't know. You don't want to, you don't want to deal with that kid that you knew grew up in the shotgun house with no water. You know what I mean? Mama was a drug addict. You remember when they was kids, they would wear the same clothes to school every day
Hmm.
or had to walk to school barefooted. Now he's selling drugs now. You got to be the one that lock him up when you know his story, what
Yeah.
took him there. You know what I mean? You don't. I don't want to be that guy to arrest that kid.
Mm.
Yeah, nah. You know what I'm saying? If I got to be the guy to arrest that kid, I rather I not know that kid. If I don't know him, I don't know his story. It makes your job easier to
Yeah.
do if you got
Yeah.
to have that kind of job.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that, and that would be tough if you know the family and you got to arrest them.
Right, right. Especially if they got like a rough past where you looking at them like, well, hell, I can understand why you out here hustling.
Hmm.
Nah, I mean, I know where you come from. I mean, I know y'all don't have water in the house. You know what I mean? I, I remember when you was going to school and you had an odor on you because of that.
Yeah.
You know, Uh, your mama went in your life. Grandma had to take care of you, but grandma, she did the best that she could. Grandma, never evolved with the time. So grandma was still living like how they lived back in the day. She never evolved with the times.
Yeah.
So you still staying in the house. That's a shotgun house. No running water in it.
Mm.
Still pumping water out the wells to drink.
Mm.
There's kids out there like that. I just wouldn't want to be one to arrest that kid. That's why I can understand my pops. Which he caught a lot of flack for helping kids that he know, and it backfired on him. It blew
Mm.
up in his face in a lot of ways because people hated him because eventually he had to do his job.
Yeah.
After giving chances, but he was giving them chances and they weren't taking him serious. If a cop comes to you like, hey, they watching and you need to like whatever you got going on, you need to shut it down. And if
Yeah.
you don't shut it down and he got to show up on the scene with the rest of the officers, can't get mad at them. But they
Yeah.
do. They do.
Mm. Gave you warning time and time again. You didn't heed them, huh?
Yeah. And then on top of that, we don't, we just don't comprehend things well. Like his situation. Well, you the police. Why I gotta act right? Basically, what they saying. We don't have the understanding that when you got somebody in a position of power that's for you and could help you, that ought to be the motivation that you need to act better.
Hmm.
You act worse when you got a person in power that ain't even trying to give you what you need and what you want, not the opposite.
Yeah. And you
You
see
know,
so much of that going on right now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We don't know how to comprehend a lot of stuff. We take stuff at face value. And then another thing too, we so unapologetic about it too. Even when we make a mistake and realize we were wrong, we'll change the subject before we say my bad, man. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? I was wrong on that. You know what I mean? You got people, man, they just want to win. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Conversation, whatever. They can't even admit they are wrong about stuff.
Yeah.
Because my dad, he should have been the sheriff of our county. And I honestly believe he would have helped a lot of people, but we didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? When I say we, I'm talking about us. We didn't see it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't see it. They wanted the white guy. And when the white guy got in, a lot of their babies went to prison for drug charges.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because he was his career of law enforcement was, if I'm not mistaken, mainly in doing detective work like narcotics, burglary, armed robbery, stuff
Okay.
like that. So he campaigned on. I mean, he told the town that's what he was gonna do. He was gonna clean the streets up of drugs and everything. He told the town, and he did. They all collectively did a good job of it. I don't know how much of it they stopped him, but probably about a month after he had got put in office, immediately he came with a narcotic task force. About a
Okay.
month after he introduced that narcotic task force, it was those getting kicked in like crazy all around my town,
Mm.
all around the county. Just those just getting kicked in. Some of them they were kicking in with people who campaigned for them.
Yeah.
Ain't joking. Ain't joking. Had his signs, had that dude signs out at their yard doing, you know what I'm saying, everything to just basically shit on my dad.
Yeah.
A lot of people went to jail around the time, right? Because he was a narcotic officer.
Did things change? Did it clean the town up doing it?
In that sense, yeah, it 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 shook the town up. But like right now over there in the project area, they got cameras on every pole, and
Mm.
that's the lady over the housing authority. She took that money and put, you know what I'm saying, cameras on every pole. So they they ain't playing over there in the projects, and they should, because the face of the projects have changed. Just a lot of people living in the projects in my town that's not even from there. So they come
Oh,
from area where they bring in you know, a lot of crime with them, just you get them people they coming out of the country and all that stuff, in them small towns like where I'm from, the people out in the country, uh, like you got the one way out there, like my mom would say, like Sugar Ditch way, like way out
mhm.
there. They they basically black hillbillies. You know what I'm saying? That's what I call them. I call them black hillbillies. What I mean by that is they wild stuff they do outside the county. Like at one time, you couldn't drink in the city, but you could drink in the county. You couldn't
Okay.
have certain parties. You had to have a permit to have parties in the city, but you didn't have to have no permit to have parties out of the country. So
Mhm.
they get kind of wild and in that idea of living in the land that they do what they want to do. So you will have a lot of shootings and like a lot of killing
Mm.
out there on the outskirts because of this wild mentality, what I like to call this wild country ass mentality. That
Mhm.
I'm out in the country, I can do what I want, but when I come to the city, I can't adapt. I still got that wild shit with me, and all my children got it in them, and my old lady got it in them. So now, when you get into it with a neighbor, it ain't like it used to be where you might hear arguing for a while. You actually hearing guns popping off now,
Mm.
because that's what a
Yeah.
lot of them understand.
And that's
So,
what I hate that everybody's so quick to pick up one now and use it.
right. Yeah, man, they like cowboys out there. That's why I call them black hillbillies. Because,
Mhm.
yeah. Because I know when my son's mother, uh, they had moved out there to that road. I ain't gonna say it while we on here, but
Mhm.
they had moved out there, like out there in that sugar dish area where they was staying in town. And man, them folks, man, was like, cause cause like I didn't grow up in the streets. I came off the porch and went in the streets. So a lot of stuff, was like registering like, wow, like it's what I'm saying? Like wow, this really exists.
Yeah,
People really act like that. People really think like that. People really do stuff like that. It was kind of like that for me, but it didn't take long to register what was happening because if I hadn't seen it before, I heard it before. Or if I have seen it before, I hadn't seen it to that extreme,
yeah,
And so yeah, it was like, wow, this is just like this is not like something people just do when they drinking. You got people to really do these things naturally, sober. And when they drinking, it's worse. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you got people out in the countries that, what I'm saying, that'll knock your head off, literally, sober,
mm,
just not even thinking. They ain't gotta have no influence. It's just that's what they understand, you
yeah.
know. Cause like when you like if if you heard people talking like about back in the day when blacks left the South and went up north, a lot of people said, it wasn't no crime like that up north till a lot of blacks came from the South and went up north. And said,
Hmm.
hey, you don't remember American Gangster?
Hmm.
Where his
They from
brothers come
South
from?
Carolina, South
All
Carolina, or
of them
North
came out the
Carolina.
country.
Yeah,
All of them came out the country. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were like they ain't had no plumbing or
right.
something like type country. And they came to the city and they got busy. You know, that's that's really true.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Not
Yeah,
not not just for that time, but in today's time right now. You know, you you leave somebody out there in the wild and you bring them to town, you can't expect them to be tame.
right.
If they've been doing burnouts and and using them country roads as racetracks, what you think they're gonna do to the first long strip they see in town?
They
They
gonna
gonna see
use it.
racetrack. They ain't gonna think about no police or no. They gonna see racetrack. Oh man, we use that right there to race. And you right there in
Hmm.
town,
And
country.
that's been a problem. I was saying they were talking about in Memphis. That's been a problem. What they call it a traffic takeover, where they
Oh yeah.
getting that intersection and just take over, just doing
So they
burnout.
still doing that.
Yeah.
Something recent happened.
I just seen them talking about it on the news either last week or week before last, and the city council was trying to get at the police, asking the police what they're going to do about it. Those burnouts. The police will say, well, these aren't necessarily isolated incidents. It's not like they telling everybody on Facebook, we're gonna meet up at this intersection, and this is what we're gonna this time, this particular day where we can catch it. No, they just pop up anywhere around the city doing it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
Dang, they ain't gonna come to our county with that. You know that, right?
yeah, yeah, I already
Yeah.
know that.
So that's why I say that's more of a police problem right there.
Hmm.
When they able to do that, shut down the interstate and stuff like that, that's a police issue right there because they not representing that city properly the way that they should. They come down here and do something like that right there. Oh, that before they even send the police over there where they spinning it, they gonna have units blocking off the state line. They want to make sure they don't get away. They can
Hmm.
go south. They just don't want to go north. They gonna have they gonna already then they gonna approach them. And if a high speed chase take off, that's fine. We got units up there on state line ready to block them off.
Yeah.
You know, they ain't gonna bring that here.
No.
No, you know what I'm saying? These folks here, if I can't say nothing else about this county we stay in, the police don't fuck around like that here.
No. No.
Mm-mm.
Because I know the mayor. of South Haven just issued a statement, because they say in the past 5 years the crime level has gotten higher, and they know it's coming from. They say it's coming from Memphis,
Hmm.
and so he done issued a statement because I think he's raised the police budget from, I think it's from 10 million to 19 million. You know, to invest
Hmm.
in the police for South Haven, and they say, hey, we're gonna put an end to it because they've been having a lot of break-ins, like car thefts and stuff like that. And
Right.
I mean, I've been hearing about those what smash and grabs and stuff
Hmm.
that have been going on around South Haven, Horn Lake, and everything. So, yeah, he said they're gonna put an end to it.
Yeah. Well, they should. Well, see, the thing about it, South Haven. Remember, I was telling you about them boys that came from Memphis, and they had a shootout with the police. I think it was last year, or the year before. Had a
Okay.
shootout with the police, and but they was able to get them back here. It was like, uh, probably about four youngsters. I think the oldest one may have been 21.
Mm,
The rest of them like 17 and up.
wow,
Yeah,
that's
sure
crazy.
did. Yeah, but see, South Haven, well, this county as a whole, they gonna learn them though. They gonna really learn them. They gonna show them, hey, you ain't got to worry about it. They gonna show them one way or the other. They gonna either be a long time residents of Mississippi, or they gonna get sent back in a body bag. These folks here ain't messing around with that kind of stuff. I
Mm-mm.
saw I saw that video. I don't know if you remember. You remember when the folks came up on the intersection of Airways and Shelby Drive, and
They had a shootout in the gas station.
and that damn police took off running.
Hmm.
Yeah, man, the Solar County don't do that, man. They get in comeback mode. They take cover. They ain't gonna let you get away. They gonna take cover and they gonna shoot back. They like these folks got a pension here.
Hmm. That makes Hey, that makes a difference.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
These here well trained comeback type officers. They ready for that. And you know what I'm saying? Shoot, they killed that woman over there on Goodman, and you remember, in the middle of the night.
I
You
remember.
know,
I remember
they
seeing it
couldn't
the next
stop her.
morning. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they
What, she
couldn't
was
stop her.
driving?
They had to throw out spike strips and everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you remember that dude in that cement truck?
I remember him.
Shoot, man, it was one that he ain't dead.
Yeah. He figured he gonna take out everybody.
Yeah, I think he got. I think out of all them gunshots, they hit him in the hip.
Mm.
Because I think the majority of the gunshots, they was trying to flatten the tires. They was trying to keep from killing the man. It seemed like,
Hmm.
probably because he was in a heavy machinery. They ain't want to, do him like that behind the wheel. But yeah, man came through there, and he lucky because he almost cost some lives because he hit that traffic and he just started bulldozing the traffic, just pushing them.
Hmm. Because his job had fired him, right?
It was something like that. I had heard he had snapped. I know they had a terminal over there on 61 somewhere, either in Robinsonville or Tunica or something. And they said that's where he had jumped in the truck at.
Mm.
But yeah, it was something like that. They had fired him,
Oh, so he
and,
wasn't
and
nobody
he snapped.
local.
Huh?
So he wasn't local. He wasn't a local cement truck, like from South Haven, Horn Lake. You say he from around
Well,
about
that's
Smith or
that's still considered
Robinsonville.
local. People drive 30 or 40 miles to get to work. That's, to me, that's still considered local. But I understand what you're saying. You talking about in terms of zip code.
Yeah, right here in the city. He wasn't nowhere near the
Right.
city. Yeah.
Right now, now that truck didn't come out of one of the terminals over here by us.
Hmm.
Right, but yeah, it was something like that about he had got fired or whatever. And I don't know where he lived at. I never found out. I don't even remember his name. Let me see.
Yeah, because I remember seeing it. I didn't get his name either when that happened.
see. Was that 2000? No, that wasn't 2020, was it?
That could have been like 19, well, 1920, somewhere up in there. It wasn't no real long time ago.
Let's see. Oh,
You see it? It says it was
yeah,
2020. Michael Earl Cohen.
that's his name.
Yeah.
I wonder why they got an update on his sentence and people shot by the Solar County deputies. Let's see, concrete truck driver accused of hitting several cars, threatening to kill people, shot by the Solar County deputies. I mean, it's not funny. Lord have mercy, it ain't funny. But dude, man, listen. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know what to
crazy.
say about that. He was 50
It,
years old.
what was I going to say? 50 years old.
Yeah, 50 years old. And that poor truck driver who filmed it, it all went down in front of him.
Mm,
He was sitting there at the light, right there by the hardest, right? You know, when
yeah.
you right there, you wait to make that right
Make that
turn for
right
the light to
turn.
turn green. He
Yeah.
sit right there. And if you remember the video, the cement truck came right almost to his driver's side door.
And they were shooting at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I could show the video since it's news. Let me see. I was trying to be careful about that because I didn't want to. But I guess since this is news, I guess I could show it. Hold on.
Yes. Crazy. You got it.
I'm just making sure I get it.
Yeah, because and it did everything right there in front of
Yeah. You tell I call they out to the truck driver that's filming it.
Oh, you gotta add it to the stage.
Huh?
Gotta add it to the stage.
Oh shit. I thought I had to stay my
Tunica
bad.
County. So I looked to my left and I seen. They just ran into all the
Can you
cars,
see it?
y'all. This
Uh-huh.
video is all over social media. A man ramming his cement truck into several vehicles. DeSoto County District Attorney John Champion says 50-year-old Michael Earl Cohen is behind the wheel. Deputies fired several shots at Cohen as he crashed into a white truck. Here you can see deputies dragging Cohen out the truck and arresting him. Champion says Cohen led authorities on a
Mm-hmm.
high-speed chase after fleeing an accident scene
Look,
in Tunica County.
look, hey, you see how this fool was still trying to hang on the inside of
Uh-huh.
the truck?
Yeah, because he in there hollering. Done got shot in the leg.
Fired several shots at Cohen as he crashed into a white truck. Here you can see deputies dragging Cohen out the truck and arresting him. Champion says
You
Cohen led
damn
Yeah.
right. That,
authorities
you
on a
you should have
high-speed
been
chase
dragged
after
out of that
fleeing
truck
an
like that,
accident
your
scene
crazy
in
ass.
Tunica County. So I looked to my
That
left
must be
and
the
I
truck, the
seen
red
the
truck
police
where the
coming
filming
down
was
with a
happening at.
concrete
Where they
truck.
Oh, it is.
On the side, each officer on the side of the concrete truck. Christopher Scott, the man behind the camera, says he had just dropped off supplies for his job when authorities
and just
blocked
took
off
a
the
dump.
intersection to stop Cohen's vehicle. Scott says Cohen hit a white truck that then crashed into his. Scott says as soon as officers started firing, he ducked down for his own safety. I was not
Yeah,
ready for
no,
this
that's
this morning, y'all. Oh, wow. I was
I was
shocked.
not ready for this morning.
I didn't know what to feel at the time. I was just sitting there looking and recording. Authorities have not released any information regarding the accident Cohen fled from in Tunica County.
I talked to his company, and they said that he had no violent history, anything with them. He had been working with the company for a while. They said they don't know what was going on.
Authorities say thankfully no one was injured. Cohen is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Look
In
at all them
DeSoto
bullet
County,
holes in the
Lemitra Wilborn,
windshield.
WRAG News Channel 3.
They finna take him out. They just
Yes,
got him in. They just so happen to hit him in the hip, but they've tried to take him out.
Hey, look, hey, but he had a no surrender type attitude too.
Yeah, he
Hey,
did.
I mean, I said, oh, dude, really? I mean, he popped up. Like I said, I don't feel sorry for his ass because, like, that
Too
truck.
old for that, man.
Hey, he could have had a mental problem or something. You know, I mean, don't nobody know the history. You know, we say it's like regular people. Man, you know, you got to let stuff go, but you never know what's going on in somebody's life that compiles on top of you.
But
That
that's true.
that may have just been the trigger of events of just constant stuff that was going on in his life. Who knows? His old lady probably could have left him weeks before that.
Yeah,
Then, you know,
that's
he probably
possible.
would have, you know what I'm saying, supposed to been up for a raise or something. And then they brought another guy in and put him in front of him. He probably was supposed to got better equipment. And they give it to another because the dispatcher may have been picking at him or something like that. And he just popped off. But I mean, it happens. I mean, he need to go to jail, but I like to know what happened to him behind that because it's been 4 years now. And
Mm,
so I know some should have came of it of his case or something.
yeah.
Yeah, but he
And so
was really
they,
hanging on the inside of that truck. He was
yeah, they said with assault with a deadly weapon.
yeah, yeah,
What they charging him with?
but ain't no telling how many counts he got on him though.
Hmm.
Because they're gonna give him that for each car he hit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So 50 years old, that kind of charge, he better have a good lawyer because he probably won't be coming back out.
so you
Then theft of federal property, most likely. You know,
so you think you get what about 25 years or something, 30 years?
shoot, assault with a deadly weapon, you getting, you know what I'm saying, probably that at the max for one charge in Mississippi. You know, he got multiple counts. He gonna have to get some of them suspended. You know, and I mean, I like to see like what they did because Mississippi kind of tough on stuff like that because he got multiple charges. You know, he don't only have see that's just what the news reported. They also gonna charge him with probably stealing that equipment.
Yeah.
You know, because you know the story was he supposedly stole that equipment. They didn't even know he was in it. He had came there that morning
Mm.
and jumped in the truck. You know, and just took off. And they had reported it and the police chased him from Highway 61 all the way up to South Haven.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
yeah. So that's how that went. I just thought that was kind of crazy though, man. But he blessed because, like you say, they was trying to take him out. They had bullet holes all in the
All in that
windshield.
windshield.
They was trying to go for the headshot, and then see. But you
Hey.
see where they drug him from, right? He wasn't hanging on to the seat when they drug him out. It looked like he was hanging on to the floor. So
Yeah.
he
Hmm.
was already on the
And
ground.
they didn't care. They dropped him on the ground, man. 50 years old, getting dropped like that. Already
Yeah.
shot in the hip and getting
He
dropped like that.
he probably didn't feel nothing to the third day he woke up in jail. That's probably when he started hurt. That adrenaline probably was pumping through him, so man, it
Yeah.
probably didn't calm down to day 3. And
Yeah.
then that's when he probably like, ooh.
Probably walking bent over and everything. Probably had a big old bruise on his hip.
Oh man, then you know, man, if they hit him in the hip right on that bone, they might have shattered that bone.
Probably did.
Ooh, yeah,
That's
yeah. Yeah, people pops off like that though, man. You know, just see that's why you have to be careful how you dealing with people. You
Mm-hmm.
know, because you never know what a person going through. I don't care how normal, how saved they are. People deal with trauma in different ways. We know a mutual friend, and she's like that with her relationships because of past trauma that she probably played herself. And
Mm,
well, ain't no probably to it based off our discussion. She played herself based on not knowing or not understanding or not realizing.
right,
Now she basing every future relationship off of her experience. And like I told her, that's not fair to the new guys because they don't know what you went through. And I
right,
said, as a woman, you got to teach them how to love you, how to deal with you. And then that's what, and I said, and you might not be grooming them for yourself, but it may be something like paying your tithes, you passing it down. That education you get that man on how to deal with you the right way. It may not work out between you and him because he didn't expose something about himself that you didn't like. But the next woman he might approach her in a more respectful way, and she may know how to receive that. So
hmm,
people deal with trauma in different ways. Like I said, that guy, he might have been dealing with some personal issues and issues on the job, and it just reached a boiling point to where he just snapped.
yeah, that's some.
Yeah. But look, man, we gonna get out of here. So and till next time we
Yes,
meet
sir.
again.